Okay. Hello, welcome. Thank you everyone who's watching and taking time to be here for you and your health today. I'm Catherine Miller, holistic health and energy coach, menopause guide, and the host of this Healthy Habit Change Summit. And I'm here today with Dr. Marisol Teijeiro, naturopathic doctor and Queen of Thrones. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Catherine. It's a true honor to be here. I am a firm believer of the practice of health, so I'm super excited to be starting this off with you.
Exactly, and that's why I'm so excited. I know today we're going to talk about castor oil packs, and it's a health hack that not a lot of people know about, and it really supports many of the different health results that I know people on the summit are looking for. So first of all, before we dive in, I want to just explain to everyone, this is one of the very first interviews everyone will be watching, and I want to set a little context, because if you've tried to create new lifestyle habits or tried to get rid of bad habits and start new ones and had limited success or even failed, you're in the right place. I designed the summit not only to give you heaps of valuable information, but to give you the exact scientific method to succeed at turning that information into habits. Habits that balance hormones, that heal your brain, that keep you energized and feeling confident for years to come. So each interview is distilled into, I'm just going to pause for a minute. My internet connection was unstable.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure if that's me or okay, perfect.
Yeah. So each interview is distilled into one simple, easy to follow action step that only takes a couple of minutes or less to implement, with clear directions on how to make it work. You want to make sure you download the workbook pages for this week and then follow the directions at the end of this interview. The other thing you absolutely need to have when building new habits is community and accountability, which you have plenty of on this summit. So make sure to check your emails. You've got friendly reminders and tips there. There's a link on this page for the workbook with simple habit forming recipes for you to follow on a habit tracking sheet to track your progress and celebrate along the way. And definitely visit the private Facebook group for Q&A, discussions, and support. And of course, if you're sitting in your chair right now thinking, I love this and I want to take more time to sink my teeth into all this crazy, wonderful habit change science, please consider purchasing. We are giving a huge discount until the end of the summit, and I'll give you more details about that at the end. So, Dr. Marisol, I never like reading people's bios out, but you have a quite extensive, background and experience. One of the things that attracted to me is your just incredible sense of humor on Instagram. I recommend everyone follow you on Instagram because you're just hilarious and you make all the information you have so much fun. But you're known as the Queen of Thrones, and you often like to say things like own your throne. So you're going to have to explain that to us right away.
I will. Perfect. Yeah. So I've been a naturopathic doctor now for over 10 years, and I've been blessed to be in the natural industry for, close to 15. And I've been honored to have struggled with irritable bowel syndrome, non-confidence in who I was as a human being. And, so many struggles that so many of us live with, and challenges that are actual blessings that help us to find our mission and our motive in life. And for me, one of my tools or one of my habits always was being joyful and funny and laughing my way through the troubled times. Because, I just found that there were so many times that were so rough and hard and difficult, and that, it was much easier to get through them if I just laughed, made a joke, smiled, and, took my next step.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think this is perfect that we're starting the summit off, because, my clinic is actually called Sanus Health Practice. And our slogan is, practice health, feel better. And what we talk to people about all the time is about practicing your health, how, you must practice in order to create these little habits, whether it's a micro habit or a larger habit, whatever the case may be, to get healthier.
Right.
And for me, one of the most important things that I realized in my life and with so many of my patients was that we weren't stepping into our skin. We aren't always there, showing up, doing what we should be doing for us. right?
Mm-hmm.
We've lived our lives for so many years according to what other people thought of us, what other people's judgments dictated that we should be doing, instead of realizing that our inner selves, our body, our mind, our souls, our body has so many ways to communicate with us. It's disease states, being not at ease, right?
Yep.
Dis-ease, or our healthy, happy states. So one of my favorites, which I talk about all the time, which happened to be my own personal huge struggle, was my stools. And it started when I was young, like a toddler. I was always chronically constipated. My mother was constipated. My father had more often diarrhea. So, we were a big mess of IBS at my home. And as I got older, and as stress, the stress to become more perfect, the stress to become more than not what I thought, but what everyone else thought on me, was just too much. And so I ended up, flipping back and forth between constipation, being unable to let go. That's the emotional sensation with that. Or, just I'm unable to handle everything and just deciding to do like a forced quit, which is the emotional attachment with having like diarrhea as an IBS.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I realized that, my stools over time were really telling me my day-to-day, daily practice habits, like what they were doing to my body and to my mind and my soul. But also my stools were really the best indicator of what I could do to make myself better. And if I just followed those beautiful little signs that I had, not every day in the toilet, but when I had when I had them, and I listened and I watched and I learned what they dictated, and then I adjusted my lifestyle, it really made a difference. And then I really truly, like when I went back to become a naturopathic doctor, I focused on this, and with every single patient, like that's how I built my practice, was teaching patients about, your stools. And because of that, I learned an amazing tool, the castor oil pack, which actually, I'd heard about for probably over 15 years before even starting to do it. And really, if I had done it at the beginning of those 15 years, I probably wouldn't have ended up back at naturopathic school, because it would have helped me so much.
Right.
In a way, I'm also grateful for being hard-headed and stubborn.
Well, that goes back to what you said at the beginning. A lot of these things end up, bringing us to a place that we can actually appreciate, because, without those trials and tribulations, you know, it's the same for me as well. I don't think I ever would have gotten into health coaching if I hadn't had so many issues of my own that I had to figure out how to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's interesting what you're saying about these gut issues. Because I know just before we started this interview, we were talking about just the general state of women not taking care of themselves. And I think, most of the women that I've met, and I had digestive issues my whole life. I always just thought it was normal. I'd never realized there was something wrong with it. And it took me many decades to finally feel like I was finally even understood what normal was.
Right. Yes.
And just feeling healthy. And I think, this lack of confidence that you were talking about often relates to those two lower chakras, like the root chakra and the second chakra, that source of confidence, security, creativity,
Yeah.
and if that's messed up,
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
our very source of strength, like where that core, that everything comes out of, is compromised.
And even up to like our third chakra, like our solar plexus
Mhm.
chakra, which is so close to our heart.
Yeah.
It's like these energetic centers, like it's, I never thought I would ever be talking like this either, because I'm, such a science background, but
Yeah.
as we evolve, we learn things and we're just like, wow, like it just makes sense.
Mhm.
We like, part of it is that so many women don't feel worthy, right? And it's one of the reasons why we don't
Mhm.
self-care. Like if you look at your child, you look at your child, like, that your child is a gift from God, right? Because
Mhm.
of the whole process of carrying a child, birthing a child, like that, it's so amazing, right? And then looking and caring for that child, and you only would want the best for that child, would only do the best. So many of us are, so worried about our child, but you know what? We were that little child too, and
Mhm.
we are as worthy as those children are, if not, more, because we've been here longer. We've had more time to get wise. We need to wisen up to know that we're so worthy that we need to take care of our worth so that we can give our magic to this world. And, it goes back to my slogan, from a marketing perspective, but truly it means much more than that. Own your throne obviously is like a funny, ooh, my toilet bowl, I'm gonna, poop perfectly. And yes, that's part of it, because
Yeah.
if you're going to the bathroom and having an amazing stool, energetically your body's aligned. You're
Yeah.
doing well, right?
Yeah.
You're in vibe with the universe. You're working well with your body, like you're in tune, and you're
Yeah.
owning your throne. But along with that, when you own your throne from a physical perspective, then you can also own it from a mental and emotional, a soul perspective.
Right.
And when you own all of that, that beautiful aspects of yourself, then you are actually bringing to this world what you're meant to bring, because every single one of us has a gift. And we don't know what this gift is. Well, hold on. We do. We usually say it when we're children.
All right.
For an example, I used to say as a child, I wanted to be Liza Minnelli and a doctor. Yes. and my
That's
mother
great.
really was like, okay, well, being Liza Minnelli, that's like way too risky. Good luck. And doctor, okay, let's be a doctor. Let's go that way. But what happened to me was that my dreams got crushed by when I was 11 years old by a dance teacher who said, because I was, chubbier around the middle, she basically said that I stuck out like a sore thumb, and it isolated me from other children
Mm.
and made me feel like I wasn't special, or that I couldn't do what I was supposed to do on this earth. So along with my dream of becoming Liza, also my dream of becoming a doctor were all squashed in that one little sentence that she said.
Mm. Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Countless of us women have experienced something like this. It's mothers, it's sisters, it's brothers, men too. But like women deal with it a lot in terms of, because of the pressures in the society is pushing on us. So then we live our lives. From that moment on, my grades suffered, my everything. My body suffered. I had more IBS, more constipation, more anxiety, more all the symptoms. Everything was just increasing and increasing, because at that point in time, I was judged, and I only valued myself by how I physically looked, right? I didn't realize my value from the inside. So if you are just looking at yourself as a shell of a being, and looking at yourself as just this, this shell, like how can you treat yourself well with love? Right. And so it's why that chakra is so important. And it's why us owning our thrones will bring us, understanding our bodies from a physical perspective, because we're physical beings. So it's very easy to get healing from a physical perspective. But once we have that physical aspect, we go higher and higher and deeper mindset, soul work.
Right. Right.
And castor oil packs, the reason why I'm absolutely in love with them, it's my first prescription with all my patients. I do them every night, like without fail. Well, not without fail, I do fail. I'm not perfect, but my commitment is every day. And I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm going to give everyone that. No one is perfect, but I am always practicing towards progress. Like that truly is my.
Yes.
And these castor oil packs, why I love them so much, is because they not only make you feel better from a physical perspective, like they make your bowels work better, so you go to the bathroom better. If you feel bloated, that goes away. If you feel like you're the comments I constantly get, you feel more fluffy around the middle or muffin tops, like that just seems to be less and less, because you have less inflammation in your core. It does all those scientifically important things: improve your microbiome, reduce inflammation, give your body nourishment and nutrients. But the most value to the castor oil pack is that it takes your body from a state of stress into a state of relaxed.
Mm.
Anyone who has lived a trauma like that, oftentimes, even with counseling, they're still reliving it, and they're still living in the stress of that moment.
Right.
So the big reason I had such horrible IBS was that I was constantly in a stress state, because I didn't think I belonged. So if you don't belong anywhere, if you don't have community anywhere, you're isolated, and there's no greater stressor than isolation. And even though that isolation was self-inflicted, it was isolation nonetheless. And so living in a state of stress, if you don't know how to feel the pleasure of a great big hug, like, and understand that how that relaxes your nervous system. Like, you're constantly stressed. And castor oil packs, the other thing that everyone says about them is when they put on a castor oil pack, they feel like they're getting a great big hug.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of the things I want to comment on is what you've been speaking about the last few minutes is just how our emotions and how our trauma and how everything is really reflected in the physical symptoms or that we have or not, right? So because I feel like this is something that's not very well understood, and we tend to pass over. Most of us have been taught we're so good at pushing through and pushing over and just, enduring,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so we tend to just glide right over. We just kind of get through whatever these episodes are,
Yeah. Yeah.
and without really making the connection between how either past traumas or current stress or both are impacting our actual health. And then we don't feel well, and we're like, why don't I feel well? Because you can't push through that, really. If you don't feel well, you don't feel well. You can't really push through that. And after a while, it takes a toll.
And the thing is this, like, another phrase that I say, because I really watch my words when I talk and I speak, because it's very important, is that I talk about getting good with the grind. But it's also thinking about it like this, like, yes, there's a daily grind, but you don't grind coffee all day long.
Yeah.
You gotta have a bit of a balance. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
grind it in the morning, but then you have to have stress, relaxation, stress, relaxation. And you have to recreate that habit and that practice of putting your body into the relaxed state. And castor oil packs, when you wear a castor oil pack, and this is why I just am in love with these, is because when you put on a castor oil pack, it's like an immediate escape button on your computer that just basically escapes you into a relaxed, what's called parasympathetic, or the rest and digest state.
Right.
We can have no healing. No healing happens if we are constantly in the stress state. But the minute we shift into the relaxed state is the minute our healing begins, our clarity of mind begins, our happiness, our gratefulness begins. Everything starts to flow into where it should be. And it's why we poop when we're relaxed. We digest our food well when we're relaxed. And it's why the castor oil pack helps in all of those aspects too.
Yeah.
So, and it's the area that, so not only does castor oil pack help you physiologically from all the great scientific things like microbiome and all these great, fantastic things, reducing inflammation. They're so great, so important. But the most important aspect of it is that it's an automatic escape button, and that it puts our body into the relaxed state. And one of its mechanism of actions, going into a scientific perspective, is that it releases a molecule called oxytocin.
Ooh.
Yes. And oxytocin, you love it, right?
I love oxytocin. I talk about it a lot, but I never realized that the castor oil packs do that.
Yeah. So it's the love and the connection hormone, right? And it goes back to, you get told you're weird, you're strange, whatever it is, you're ugly, you're fat, you're all these words that are just thrown out by people who don't understand the actual impact of their words. You're told that, you feel isolated, you feel stressed, you feel no connection. You put on a castor oil pack. For me, the first time I put on a castor oil pack, even though I had a loving boyfriend, amazingly loving mother, like, I had all those aspects, but I couldn't love myself, was the clincher. And putting the castor oil pack was like giving myself a hug and caring for myself. And plus it did the entire hormonal release that is required, to feel that love. So it's like training yourself to re-love yourself, which is amazing, right? And then getting the physiological benefits of it too. And they
here I thought we were just going to be talking about poo, and here we are talking about self-love.
I know, but self-love. You gotta love your shit, man.
I love it. I mean, it's so interesting, because I feel like what you're talking about here, because I really want people who are watching this to understand that we're talking about the whole person here. And that's what I always try to do when I'm interviewing people and when I'm recommending certain protocols for health, is I'm I'm not just saying take this vitamin because it's good for your skin, or, take this probiotic because it's good for your gut. My understanding is that you're doing that because ultimately it's going to help you live a better life, right? And
Yeah.
so what you're saying is that I'm always going to try and emphasize whenever I hear that coming from someone, I'm going to try and emphasize that, because to me, it's not just take this castor oil pack because it's going to fix you. It's like,
No.
take it because there's so many things that it's going to support. It's going to support you being this whole human being. And that's what I love about it.
And like no other tool compares to the support that you get from the castor oil pack, because the pack actually supports like your 5 basic physiological patterns that and processes that actually need to be working well for you to have health and to have, what you're talking about is the principle of increase, and it's just like a natural law. We
Mm-hmm.
look to increase our money, increase our salary, increase our time with family, increase our wealth, increase our happiness, increase our well-being, or increase our feeling. Nature does the same, increasing its leaves on a tree, growth, that's the principle that we're all looking for in life. And you need to have a solid foundation in your life physically, in order to do that in all aspects of your life, in your whole. And, these castor oil packs, like from a, again, science perspective, they support, and this is the best. The acronym you remember to think about what castor oil packs do is the word faith. How appropriate is that?
Okay.
As in
That's great.
FAIH.
Okay.
Oh, are we good? Yeah.
We're good now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, you're not,
Okay,
you're frozen.
okay, good.
You're
So
frozen.
I'm frozen. Am I frozen now?
No,
Am
you're
I
good.
better?
You're
Yeah.
good.
Good. Okay. So I'll start from the faith person.
Yes.
So the amazing thing with castor oil packs is that they support your basic physiology, and the acronym is incredible. When I was working through like how to explain this in an easy way, the perfect word that came out was the word faith. Like, how great.
Yeah.
So, because faith is fundamental, and faith isn't necessarily like religious, but faith actually is just having the belief that you can be better, that you can feel better, and this is the energy of that castor oil pack. And F stands for the function of your digestion, absorption, and elimination. So how your body is doing all those things, right? Because, digestion, and this is all in my upcoming book called Oh Shit. Yeah, it's great. The digestion is about how we digest our lives, right? Like how we are digesting stimulus, not only food, but emotions, feelings, how we're feeling in our body. Absorption is how we are intaking that in and utilizing it, right? Some of us don't absorb because we're blocked. We have a barrier to allowing love in, allowing food in, allowing all these things, and they just manifest in physical conditions. We have, elimination. You must eliminate, like I said earlier on, constipation is a sign that energetically and emotionally you can't let go, or you can't let go of things that are harming you. And then, diarrhea, if you have it repeatedly and it's not based barely on it, just based on an infection, is actually a sign of it's just all too much and you just need the escape button now. Like it just needs to come out. Like you are overwhelmed. Your systems are overwhelmed. So it's like a forced quit. Right. So it's very, very amazing that F is the first aspect of how the castor oil pack works. And then A stands for antioxidant support. So castor oil is an amazing source of omega-6s, omega-9s. Omega-6 come from sesame oil, omega-9s from olive oil. And then castor oil uniquely supports the end goal of taking fish oils. So something called a prostaglandin E3 is what is the anti-inflammatory result of taking fish oil. So you get all this from castor oil just doing it topically,
Wow.
Yeah, plus glutathione, which is a master detoxification agent. So for people, going into doing these little practice habits that are going to support a cleanse, glutathione is your most important nutrient or molecule in your body that takes out, packages these toxins or these things that we don't need.
Right.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then nitric oxide is supported in its creation with castor oil. Nitric oxide is what helps our circulation to work better. So with your circulation, it's the highway of the body, the highway that transports nutrients to and fro in our body. So we require all of these things, right? And so that's the antioxidant support, which is pretty impressive from a little oil, a little vegetarian oil, that has been around since 4000 BC, let me mention. Yeah, 4000 BC is the first recorded usage of castor oil. In my opinion, it's going to be here for till 6000 BC and beyond because
Yeah.
it's just so powerful. And what it does, like it's incredible. Then I stands for inflammation balancing. Like stress, we need a little bit of inflammation, just like stress, but we don't need too much of it. So we want to balance that inflammation processes that are occurring, because a little bit of inflammation is reparative, and it helps you reprocess, reset. But too much is just destructive and just damaging to the body, which is what we want to avoid. Then T stands for tension and stress reduction. So again, we want to go in gladly and gratefully to our daily grind, right? Gladly and gratefully into our daily grind. But then we need to have those moments at balance of stress and tension reduction, right? And then of course, H stands for host microbiome balance. Having good balance of those microbes, those our little community.
Yeah.
And if you ever think you're alone, we are not alone.
Right. Right.
Like we're not alone. We are the home for trillions of bacteria that actually many of them support our well-being. There are those that are, conbiotics, like I like to term them, which are, they're con artists. They steal from us and add bad gases to our body. Where the probiotics and the good guys, they give us good fatty acids to support our healing. They help us provide B vitamins, so many great things that they do. So it's, and that's in a sum what castor oil on a physiological perspective does. Like it builds our faith back into our body, our belief that we are able to be better than we are at this moment in this day. And this is only with regular practice.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing. So some questions about this, when you say with practice, like what exactly does that entail? Like how does that look?
So there's a variety of different ways you can use your castor oil pack. I like to put people on programs. So number one, my favorite one is if you can practice it daily, go full force into that, because you really will get the best benefit out of this practice, and it's super safe. And like daily we're exposed to stress, daily we're exposed to inflammation, daily we get low nutrients, daily we might not be absorbing well, we might be having a war with our microbiome and our bacteria. So daily use of it really just keeps you balanced and keeps you working well. If that is too much, then we do a 7-day technique, which is 7 days on, 7 days off. Recent research has shown that when you do 7 days of castor oil, which stimulates a low dose nitric oxide in your body, nitric oxide is also something that breaks down and kills off things like candida yeast, which is a big problem for many women. You might be having foggy brain, feel your brain foggy, fatigued, bloated all the time, bad gas, bad digestion, skin problems, even hearing issues or tinnitus, ringing in your ears, all associated, with candida. So many symptoms are candida based.
Wow.
So doing a 7-day on, 7-day off, that really helps to support re-regulating the candida in your system. Of course, even better though is if you do, like that's minimal. Even better is always if you do it daily. And then, you can do it within a cleanse process. So say you're doing like a 21-day cleanse, you need at least 21 days to really get into your system, especially when it comes to food-based cleanse. So you at least want to be doing it then for 21 days. But the gold standard is daily, if you can practice it, or aim for daily. Yeah. I make it part of my nightly bedtime routine.
Yeah.
The thing is before, and why I was turned off to castor oil packs was that they were hard to do. They were messy, but I created such an easy system that it literally takes no more than, 2 minutes to put your pack on your body and get ready and just go to bed with it. Mm-hmm. So I just put it as part of my, brush my teeth, wash my face, go pee, put my castor oil pack on, go to bed. and my, take care of my face in terms of castor oil as well too, and then go to bed. And that's my nightly routine. And, that's what I want to encourage people is just, these are really easy tools now that you can just make as part of your routine. Very, right?
Yeah. And I can say, I just had a surprise late summer cold that just snuck up on me and just blindsided me. And I was like devastated. I had just ordered your pack because I knew that I was going to be on this interview. And so this, comes with the special kind of thing you can strap on you. And and
Yeah.
castor oil. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to use this on my chest, and I literally just put this thing on my chest, like,
Awesome.
like I think it was like 3 nights in a row. And it
Perfect.
was amazing because normally I would get this deep, 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 deep cough that would last for a week. And I would have days of, blowing my nose. And I had all that, but for like 2 days instead
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
5 days or whatever it normally would have been.
Oh yeah.
And so I was pretty impressed. And then I put it aside because it was like my husband came home and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. But the thing that was amazing to me is it wasn't as messy as I thought it was going to be.
At
Even,
all.
it actually, the oil is beautiful, and I
Beautiful.
got the iPad one as well, and I couldn't believe how nice my skin felt,
Oh yeah.
afterwards. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's so incredible. And it is. It's a loving, nurturing oil. And they
mm,
even say like it was used when kings and queens were anointed, and they
mm,
their throne, another own your throne reference. But also the clergy, like in Catholic settings or in religious settings, would always be anointed with castor oil because they said that it would bring them closer to God. Right. So just
wow.
yeah, it has a very energetic quality to it, and it is
Mm,
very soothing, very an amazing oil. And
mhm,
the thing is this, like I again, I didn't know my worth the way that I know it today. And I wasn't willing to donate the amount of time that was required for me to do the castor oil pack the old way, right? It just wasn't
mhm,
part of my perspective in life.
right.
But this way is easy for everyone. So no matter where you are at in your life, where you are
Mm,
at in your journey of owning your worth and owning your throne, you can do these packs and easily and part of your night practice and get used to them. And then you just see yourself changing from all perspectives, mentally, soulfully, physically, like everything feels better. And, those days where you have those colds or flus, because you can use it for much more than just your liver and just for, gut health, on your back with low back pain, on your
mhm.
chest if you have an infection, if you've got neck or shoulder pain, all these places you can use the castor oil pack. And it looks like this. It's very, very simple to use. So it's a great big pack. So it's basically cotton flannel, organic, because you always want it to be organic. Super important, organic, because the thing with castor oil being that beautiful emollient, loving oil, it is the very best carrier oil. And it is the only oil, in fact, that, jojoba can't do this, coconut oil can't do this. So if you're working with essential oils, this is the only oil that actually goes deep into the dermis. So underneath the first layer of skin. And
Mhm,
in there is your circulation, your lymphatic system. So the highways and superhighways of the body. So when you put your castor oil on, like it brings in anything into the body, including essential oils, much better than any other oil would. But if your oil, as an example, is in plastic, mine is always in glass to prevent this. In plastic, you're going to be absorbing plastic
right.
components, you know, uh, things that they use in the sliding process of plastic filling, UV light filters in the bottle. So, and you absorb that, and then that adds a toxic component to your treatment. And same with the oil quality, needs to be organic, extra virgin, cold pressed. You need to be careful of this because there's a lot of discrepancy in quality out there in the market. It must
Mm,
absolutely be those things, because if not, it's likely been processed with chemicals. The bottle needs to say that. If it does not say those things, extra virgin, cold pressed, hexane free, you might be in trouble. And these packs are organic cotton flannel on the inside, so it's touching your body's organic cotton flannel. And to make them less messy, we used a pull. It is like a version of plastic, but it's the healthiest we can get it, which is used with non-chemicals. And it's what's used for baby diapers, for healthy, organic, reusable baby diapers. So, and
okay.
that's not the part you put on your skin. You put the organic cotton, the soft part, because it's this part. It's a compress aspect that's actually going to stimulate the oxytocin mixed with the castor oil. That stimulates all the oxytocin release,
Right.
action, your love hormone, and
Yeah.
that great, awesome feeling of having a hug and then going to bed with that. And when you do wear a castor oil pack to bed, you sleep like a baby, much better than you do otherwise,
Which I
right?
think is going to be welcome information to a lot of people that are having that issue of not being able to sleep very soundly.
So many. Yeah, it's such a
Yeah.
problem. And all you do, it's little steps. Open it up, put 2 tablespoons of castor oil in the middle of the pack, blot it, and place it underneath your right rib cage, and which is where your liver is, like right about right there. and then
Mhm.
just tie it up, and that's it. And you're good to go.
Mhm.
So simple. It's a
Yeah.
no-brainer these days to actually start implementing this great practice, because it does so much more, so much more for you. Like today I had another story about great girlfriend of mine. She's actually a huge influencer on in hormone balancing and
Mhm.
nutrients and eating well for your hormones. And she's been doing the castor oil pack religiously since I came into her life. She's been going at a Swiss retreat, a Swiss clinic, paying big bucks, to see these results. And, her real big strategies have changed this year. We're doing her castor oil packs regularly and breathing. And would you believe
Right.
like she had massive changes and improvements in her health, and she's like, I'm blown away. She's like,
Yeah.
another great story for castor
Yeah.
oil. And I'm like, yeah, like, and this is why, like, my patients, I know if they're not doing their castor oil packs, their protocols don't work well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm completely sold on this, and I'm starting to get my clients to use it as well.
Wonderful.
Um, One of the things I want to say to people is we are going to put a link to that particular kind of beautiful thing that Dr. Marisol was just showing us. And I have used it and I love it. And I just wanted to say to people as well, though, you can absolutely just get a organic wool flannel. They're
Organic.
out there on Amazon or in your co-op or Whole Foods or whatever. And just make sure you get, I couldn't find anything. I'm in a rural area. I had to order from Amazon,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you can do that as well. So I got both, and it's like I think it's really just up to you. I want you all to feel like whatever is easiest. The most important thing is that you actually
Do it.
do it.
That's right.
Exactly. Now the
Yeah,
other thing I wanted to clarify, because you don't have to wear these things overnight, right? You could just put this on for an hour.
exactly. Yeah, you could wear it for an hour, and that's how I started doing them. And
Hmm.
then, I evolved my practice, because you got to
Hmm.
remember, we're practicing and for progress, right? So,
Hmm.
you might start with just an hour. It's all you feel you can do, but
Hmm.
then, you evolve into overnight. And
Yeah.
if people are worried or concerned, like they just want to try the flannel first, do that. But what I've seen in practice always, and this is why we created this,
Mm.
and I don't want to sell people, but I'm just going to tell them from my
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
honestly, is that when it's hard and it's a challenge, and with just a flannel, you gotta, be careful, because it's going to slide and slip, and there's all these,
Mhm.
challenges to it. You want to make your health practices and your habits as easy as you possibly can. And
Yeah.
my practice does that, because I've just been in practice for so many years with the pack and
Yeah.
seen my patients. And if you would believe it, this is like the second model brought to market, but about 10 to 20 models in between of that. Like,
Yeah. Right. Right.
for a piece of
Yeah.
cloth, right? But you know,
Yeah.
I want the experience to be excellent for people, because what was
Yeah.
happening with these castor oil packs is that they were falling out of fame in my profession, because people weren't doing them, because they would be prescribed, and people wouldn't do them because they didn't have an easy way to do it. So I just don't
Exactly.
want people to fall into that hole, because I know that hole all too well.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
just weigh out your options, but remember, this just, it makes it easier. So do whatever you can to make this process easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I want to remind people of is the theme of this week is daily detoxing. So
Yes.
what I love about the castor oil pack is it's something that you can do on a daily basis. You can do it weekly, you can do it daily, you can do it for an hour, you can do it overnight. It's not going to hurt you. It's not like doing a fast
Yeah, I know.
or a juice cleanse or something that's a little bit more risky, without help, without being overseen. This is something you can literally do yourself that's completely safe, and it will help to support your body on a daily basis. But not only daily, it'll actually help improve your health for the future.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the whole idea of the daily detox practices. It's this is just one way, and it was such a, for me, learning more about this. I mean, I've used castor oil packs in the past, but I always thought I had a fairly limited idea of what they were good for. When I
Ah,
found out it was like the full range, I was like, oh my Lord, it's
yeah.
just, yeah. So for me, it was a no brainer. It's like, I have to give people this information,
Yeah.
because the amount of effort that it takes to do it compared to the kind of results that you get, I mean, you get so much bang for your buck.
Oh, and that's the thing. It's like all natural. do it yourself. You don't need to go to a clinic. It isn't expensive. Even with purchasing our kit, like over the long run, the amount of money that you save, all your supplements, like, because castor oil packs, in effect, anything else that you're doing health wise, all your supplements, all the good food you're buying, all of those things are all going to work better. So whatever you're doing is going to work better. You're
Right.
maximizing everything that you're doing. And why wouldn't you do that? You work so hard for your money.
Yeah.
You do that daily grind gratefully, but like, it's so why you just want to do these, you want to practice them regularly just to make everything work that much better. And then, that's the key to life is the practices, the small habits that really over time create those micro changes. And people are going to when you start doing your castor oil pack, like, you love it. You just love it, because who doesn't love getting a beautiful hug, feeling good, feeling connected, feeling that love, like, internally, like, just for yourself, first and foremost. And then being able to love those around you so much more because of it too. It's super cool. Like, it really, really
Yeah.
helps you to show up in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. One of the things that I thought to share with people, because this is just one of those health and beauty things that I think is also, but I heard that the castor oil was also used even by people like Cleopatra or different,
Yeah.
for beautiful hair, to increase eyebrow and eyelash growth and all that. I haven't actually tried to do that, but tell us
Yeah.
more about that. Some of
Yeah.
the more
It's,
beauty aspects.
I keep on always thinking, have you ever seen, I'm sure you've seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right, right.
So I always say castor oil, how the dad would run around like spraying Windex on everything. I'm like, castor oil is the same, but way healthier because it's not a chemical. It's like you put it does everything. So
Uh-huh.
Cleopatra used to use it to whiten her eyes and the beauty of her hair, as did Greek and Mediterranean goddesses. And they would use it on their eyebrows and their eyelashes to grow them, make them thicker, fuller. And even as we age, and to prevent the aging around our eyes, we apply castor oil. And what we've done is I've actually created a kit for this too, because we all use it so much in my clinical practice. So we actually have a brush that goes with it and an eye mask.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, what you do is you place the castor oil around your eyes, and this helps to prevent, it goes deep into the dermis, so it fluffs up your skin, so your wrinkles the next day actually, number one, look less, and your skin feels incredibly soft. Like, it's
Yeah,
amazing how it feels, and you felt this too when you put the castor oil.
yeah,
Just it's
definitely.
like a baby's bottom, and you can even, like, there's so much you can do with castor oil. You can wash your face with castor oil. Like, you can do oil pulling. I mean, like, we could talk for 6 hours. I teach a 6-hour course of the Naturopathic College on castor oil. It's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I have material to talk about for the rest of my life about castor oil. We talked about castor oil, and I talk about so much about the human condition. It's like I will never run out of things to say. And then all you do is just place the castor oil on the spoolie, and you put that on your eyelashes, and then the brush on your eyebrows, and then you go to bed and you wear the eye mask. And the eye mask is super important because, this as a practice, just simply wearing an eye mask, just like the castor oil stimulated the beautiful love and connection hormone oxytocin, which reduces your stress, your cortisol levels. Castor oil with an eye mask improves your melatonin, which is what helps you to sleep better at night and sleep deeper.
Right,
And
right.
women, as they go into menopause, they run the risk their melatonin decreases, and that also increases their risk, inversely, to breast cancer and hormonal based cancer. So as their melatonin decreases, their risk of those cancers increase. So, we want to do whatever we can in this, lovely, hot stage of life to improve our melatonin, so that way we can reduce the risk. And
Yeah.
as a side note, which I just have to tell people is that, hot flashes, as uncomfortable as they are during menopause, they are a sign of health. And when women have hot flashes, they have a less risk of breast cancer. However, women that are well cleansed and who clean really well and well detoxified, and their body's optimal and they have low stress, they experience both less hot flashes and less risk of cancer.
Wow,
Pretty cool,
beautiful.
right? Because the
Great.
hot flash is actually how our body cleanses and detoxifies after it loses your period, which was also a form of detoxification and cleansing.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I had not heard that that before. So I'm happy to know that now.
Yeah.
Um, it's a great reframe on
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Heat surges.
Yeah.
Power surge. Your power, it's your power surge time of life, right? Like
Yes,
it's
yes,
all how we look at it, right? Owning your throne in this time of power.
absolutely. Well,
Awesome.
this is our first week of the summit, and I'm sure, I mean, I don't want to go on too much longer because I know I just want to give people time to listen to everything. I think
Absolutely.
everyone has enough information to go on. So, um, what I'd like to do now is kind of help people understand this as an action step. We have
Perfect.
6 weeks to this summit. Obviously, you can be practicing this for the rest of your life if you want to. So, but I like to make it very doable so you're not thinking, oh my God, I have to do this for the rest of my life. Right now, in order to start a habit, all you have to think about is the next step, right?
Yeah.
And so the next step is you're literally going to, excuse me.
Purchase organic castor oil in a glass bottle
Yeah.
and either a delivery system, either from Queen of the Thrones, the castor oil pack, this guy,
Mhm.
or you get an organic cotton flannel, whichever way. But just make sure organic, and the castor oil is organic in a glass bottle, cold pressed, hexane free, extra virgin.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
And
that's definitely
the way I would phrase it, because we're teaching everybody to do these habit recipes. So the habit recipe would be,
right.
as soon as I turn off the interview, I will open up Amazon on my computer or my phone, whatever I happen to be, and I will order some castor oil and a flannel, or I will hit that link and go to Dr. Marisol's site and order it there. And you will not move on to the next step until you do that.
Perfect. I love this. This is great. Yeah, this is actually what I do with my patients in clinic. This is a must.
Yeah, yeah,
Very much.
yeah, exactly. So then the next recipe that you're going to write is, after I receive the castor oil in the mail, and the whatever it is, the flannel or the package, um, I will uh, commit to prepare. I will open it up and check out all the ingredients. And then after I check out everything, after I open the package and check everything out, I will put in my calendar when I am going to do the
Yeah.
castor oil pack.
Yeah.
So you kind of just, if you know that you watch a show,
Yeah.
every,
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
night, or every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, on television, then you're like, okay, those are the days I am going to do a castor oil pack. And the thing is, don't worry. I know Dr. Marisol said do it every day. That's good. But the thing is, you're doing it more than you ever have. So it's going to be great. And the idea with habits is they don't need to be perfect. You need to just do things consistently. And once you get things started and you celebrate, like every time, like when you order that thing, you go, woohoo, or whatever, your form of celebration is.
We do
And
jazz hands. Jazz
jazz
hands.
hands, yeah.
I did it.
Yes, exactly. And then, or you can give yourself that hug, or,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
get that package in the mail and you open it all up and you survey your beautiful purchases, the same thing. You can pump the air, or you can do jazz hands, and then, when you get that in the calendar, again, you pat yourself on the back, you give yourself a little like hop or a wiggle or whatever it is that turns you on, and you just, every step of the way, you acknowledge your progress, and you acknowledge what you've done. And what that does is that creates a positive emotion in conjunction with the actual habit. And as soon as you do that, your brain wires in a different way. It's not wired around that habit, like I should do this, I have to do this.
No.
It's not wired around guilt. It's wired around happiness. It's wired around confidence and success and
Yeah.
all of that. Yes. So we really want to make sure, especially in this first week, that we put these steps in place when we're practicing these things. This step right here with the castor oil pack is a little bit more advanced, not because it's hard, but just because there's a few different steps to actually getting to the point of doing the castor oil pack. But this is exactly the way you would have to practice a lot of different habits that, in order to eat well, you're going to have to go shopping. You're going to have to, so this part of practicing this is also going to help you when it comes to practicing the other things that you want to do in your life. So look at it and understand that you're learning a skill, not just doing something healthy. So,
Yeah. You're doing this to increase your life.
yes.
The value and feel better, be better,
Yeah.
own your throne, people. You can do it. You are worth it.
Own your throne. I love it. All right. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So we have a free gift from you.
Yes,
That's,
you do.
so tell us all about it. It sounds great.
Well, everyone do your jazz hands. Come on, let's
Yeah.
get excited.
Woohoo!
I love it. They always make me feel so happy, right? Because, well, I told you earlier, I wanted to be
Liza Minnelli, man. Yeah.
younger, so the jazz hands are very
Yeah.
appropriate for me. And my team, we actually do that. Actually, that's part of our vision and part of our, what we call our vitals. It's part of what we live by, our philosophy of what we do for people out there when they buy our products. We want to celebrate their successes. We want to, provide them excellent customer service. Like, we just want to make a difference in this world. So it's pretty cool what we do. And,
Right.
where was I going with this? Oh my God. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, the gift. The gift.
yes, the gift, right. So I got so excited. So I have put together to transfer my knowledge to you about understanding what your stools say about you, because it's so very important, right? Because it's that first connection of really understanding, connecting to your body, connecting to your signs of what it says. So the first step, because I also am a master of habit, is to learn about the color of your poo. And so we have an amazing free download for you guys, very special, called the 50 Shades of Poo. Yes, that's right. The 50 Shades of Poo. So what I want you to do is to go onto you have the link for the 50 Shades of Poo, and to download that immediately so that you have that, and it'll be delivered into your inbox, and you'll start the journey. You can read it on your leisure. Maybe one of the nights you're doing your castor oil pack, you will go and start to read it, because it's an incredible tool to actually understand your stools and what it's saying about you. So I want to give you that gift as well too, and it'll help you in your journey to increase and feel better.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for that. And I know, well, for those of you that have found this way of building habits, you've listened to Linda Fogg, you've listened to this, you like the way that this is going, and you feel like it would be helpful to you want to return to it. You can see that this is something you're going to want to come back to over and over again. It is possible to purchase this summit as a course, and it'll give you access to a course membership site where all the different materials are set up. You can come back to it over and over again. The summit as a free event is, offered for a good long time, but it's a limited amount of time. And with the course, you're actually going to be able to access videos, audios, transcripts, all the free gifts as well, plus speaker bonuses. So, these are all things that you will benefit from over the long term. So let's see if I forgot anything with that. Oh yeah, and an e-workbook too. Now you're getting a workbook in this free one, but this is going to be the whole e-workbook with speaker outlines, habit recipes, the habit tracker, and that's for digital or hard copy use. So I highly recommend that if you are enjoying this process and you feel like this is something that's helping you do something you've never been able to do before, which means you're also going to be able to get long-lasting results, which is my hope for everyone, then there's a link also underneath this video that will show you, will take you right to the page with all the details on that.
Love it.
So fantastic.
That's awesome.
So I am super, super happy that we got to do this together, and I'm so thankful to you for sharing your experience. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this again, because there's so much we didn't get to talk about.
I know, we just scratched this.
Right.
But the main point is to do your pack, do the castor oil pack.
Exactly. And please come on the Facebook page. It's the Radiant Kick-Ass Women's Club on Facebook. That's where we're going to be sharing everything about the summit, and and answering questions and things like that. So any questions you have about other ways of using the castor oil pack and all of that, you can, tag Dr. Marisol and myself, and we'll definitely hop in there and give you as much support as we can.
Awesome.
And I also want to thank everyone that's watching this. Thank you so much. You're the reason I'm here, and you're the reason both of us do what we do. So I'm really happy that I'm going to be getting to know you over the next 6 weeks, and I look forward to hearing from you and hearing how this goes for you. All
Amazing.
right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you do, Catherine.
Oh, thank you too, Dr. Marisol. All right. We'll say goodbye for now.
Bye, everybody. Good luck.